Yo, what is going on, guys? It is another Deadman Mode tournament, and I'm bringing you a video that may be a bit different from the other ones. I decided to do some skilling this Deadman Mode because I can't actually play the entire week, so there would be no point in me trying to go for the win. And I really could not be bothered doing Monkey Madness, getting to the Warriors Guild and doing all that stuff all over again, because I've done it so many times, and potentially I'll be doing that on the seasonal as well. So I decided to have some fun. I did Herblore a few seasons back, and that was actually really fun in the actual season. So this time I decided to do crafting because Herblore, it looked really sketchy with Barrows dropping potions, so I thought that might crash the price of those. Not sure how that's turning out. So anyway, we start off with some basic agility levels and beef up some stats a bit. The initial plan was to go to the flax fields and spin flax from 1 to 50 odd crafting. Probably was shooting for 57 in the first place for the green DI'd fan braces, although I know the market is pretty competitive in the early days, so I was going to have to diversify it into different things. Got the molten glass and made some lamps for the initial crafting levels straight off Tutorial Island. So how I was doing bowstrings was I was picking flax on alt mission, which is my alt, and solo mission was spinning the flax, so he was actually getting the crafting levels, and initially I was dropping the bowstrings because it was slightly faster XP. But eventually I did start to bank them. There are a couple of other people there, notably like Pure Spam and stuff, and I think some people were coming to PK, so it was a bit sketchy as we went along. Eventually I did actually manage to get to 57 crafting, but I had to go and pick flax on Zaya. As you can see on screen, my alt is killing a random fisher fishing lobsters. So he was picking the flax, then telling into Lumbridge, and then giving it to Solo Mission, who then used the flax and turned them into bowstrings. And it was pretty chill because I was in a safe area on my main, so not too much to worry about. And yeah, we got 57 crafting and started to do jewellery because D-hides were not buying unless you were willing to pay a massive price for them. I think one of the clans was feeding one person and he was just really pumping up the price of D-hides, so I basically just couldn't compete because it wasn't sustainable at all. So I kept gradually leveling crafting through flax, and I did some ammies as well, some strength ammies. They were selling for at least 10k each. So that was really good, giving me a good foundation of cash as I worked towards the green D-hide bodies, because I think they were pretty much break even at that point. So that was the aim. And I also had to get my mage up to Alk with them as well, which is annoying. So yeah, I must have made about 200 strength ammies on this account. I probably funded the entire game's worth of strength ammies. So at that point I had enough cash to finance buying the D-hides and getting D-hide bodies. So this was pretty good because it allowed me to get faster XP than doing flax and just random bits and bobs. Like I did a lot of bank standing at the GE trying to wait for buying stuff to buy and sell. I was just tanning the hides on solo mission initially because there really isn't many PKs on the tournament at all, especially in the early days when everyone's getting DT done and things like that. So I was feeling pretty safe. So I kept rinsing and repeating this, moving on to blue D-hides, which were slightly more profitable for me. We actually did turn a profit with those rather than sort of break even with the green D-hides. But they were a lot slower to buy because there were competition from other crafters. That's always the thing, there's always so many people trying to buy the same things, especially because I feel like a lot of people went for crafting this tournament rather than Herblore, and it really tells with some of the prices. So anyway, from ammies and D-hides, I managed to get 70 crafting, which is actually really good because that means I can make power amulets. And power amulets, I don't think there were many on the market at all. So the first one sold on the GE for 22k each, and then I sold a lot for 20k each. So a big chunk of profit coming in there, which was helping me finance gaining more crafting levels, because the D-hides were really getting expensive at this point, as the high level crafters became almost able to craft the Black Dragon hide, which is where there is so much money to be made in this game. It was around this time that I did my first swap, so I sold at 1 to 40, so that would be 1 mil Deadman mode equals 40 mil old school. As you'll find out, Deadman mode is actually a really good money maker for old school RuneScape. I kind of regret not selling earlier because the rates were as high as 1 to 100, but the cash was really needed to advance my crafting level to the point where I could be really profitable. So it's always a fine balance between selling off your GP and using your GP to progress your crafting level. And yeah, if I did this again, I probably would know what to do. So for my first swap, I swapped off 400k and got 16 mil in return. I'll just keep all the GP on my alt's invo so you guys can see it stacking up. I had to do a bit of mage training so I could prepare for Dragonstone Jewelry so I could enchant that. I think you need 68 mage, which is 65 with a boost. But in doing so, that means I could get into the Mage Guild and I could buy Nats there, so I was doing that for a bit buying nats, then selling them on the GE for 500 each, because you can buy them for like 200. That was a really quick turnaround with profit. And also, I think I was ranked 10 mage or something at the time, and I could afford to buy mystic boots and stuff like that and sell that on the GE, so that was a nice break from crafting, making some decent side GP. And then it happened, I got 74 crafting, which was the aim for day one. I think this was right at the end of the day. I could now make Dragonstone bracelets, which is very nice, because they sell for so much money. And the Dragonstones and stuff, I'd been collecting them throughout the tournament so far. With the crystal keys, you can end up buying them for like 12k on the GE. And yeah, it's just ridiculous, the profit margin on Dragonstone bracelets as they turn them into combat bracelets. So I kept rinse and repeating with the D-stones. The D-stones and the combat bracelets were the main source of money, mixed in with some red dragon hide as well, which sold for quite a lot, but it's quite hard to buy the D hides. So that was the main source of GP during this time period. And I was doing crafting the hides for the crafting XP as well, and mixed it with a bit of flax and random stuff, because there's not actually that many players on the tournament when you think about it, only about 400 logged in at a time. So that means that the market is kind of dry for supplies, so you can be waiting quite a while to buy D hides, because, I don't know, there'll be only like 4 people killing dragons. And then late on Tuesday evening, I hit 79 crafting, and then I could use the poison chalices, which I'd completely forgotten about, to boost my crafting up by 1, and that meant I could make glories, which is very nice, because I can sell glories and combat bracelets simultaneously, so the cash was coming back to me a lot faster. Because sometimes you can be waiting a while for stuff to sell, it's not an insta sell like it would be in the normal Deadman mode, because once again there isn't actually that many people with the money to buy these things. So I kept on swapping my GP off every time I made a couple 100k, probably for rates between 1 to 25 and 1 to 30 at this point. And I think I did a big swap of a mil at 1 to 20 at the end of the day, just so I could go to bed and the rates wouldn't crash overnight. And then this morning, done a few more D hides and moved on to crafting the black D hides, and that's where we're at now. Selling these D hide chaps for about 50k each, and I bought the hides for 7k each, so do the maths, 36k profit per chaps. Hopefully going to be moving on to the bodies this evening, so that's 83 crafting I need to do. Long term, maybe looking to do Furies in the future if there's a demand. I think we'll stop at 84 and just do profitable things past there. Maybe I'll sell some regions if people are wanting them for 07, and then I'll be crafting full black D hide sets and hopefully making some decent money. Hello, so we're at the present day, and I decided to take a quick break from crafting because nothing was buying or selling. So I've left about a mil's worth of stuff in the GE, and we're just here. I came here with like 40 HP. Pretty risky, but nobody has even turned up PKing, so get your act together, guys. Come and PK people. Anyway, these are the stats for now. I'm just trying to get like semi-okay stats for the final hour. I want to make it to the final areas and just watch everyone die and die myself. It's really nice to be a part of that. I'll probably just fall in on an open CC or something like that, because realistically I stand no chance on my own whatsoever without continuously training for the rest of the week, which I'm not able to do because I've got uni stuff to do and going home on the Friday and the Saturday. Okay, here we go. Here's the last swap to make the whole total 102 million for the first 2 days. Well, pretty much the first 2 days, a bit more. Who's counting anyway? It's the Wednesday now and it is around 6 PM. And yeah, I've played like a decent amount, but I've still been going to uni, still been sleeping every night. Unlike those Warriors Guild grinders that are just stuck in the Warriors Guild all day, every day, wishing that they could go to bed. But yeah, I've enjoyed it so far, and my plan is now, I think I'm going to just get 84 and then try and milk this Deadman for as much money as possible, and then maybe get like 90 combat so I can actually survive in the final area for a bit. But yeah, this has been a good tournament so far. Not sure if I'll just upload the rest of the progress and the final hour in one video on Saturday, so watch out for that one. Probably won't be playing the seasonal straight away because I've got lots of things to do in real life, but that's fine because the catch-up mechanic is there for people like me to get sorted right out. So yeah, anyway, thank you very much for watching this video, guys, and I'll see you in the next one, probably on Saturday, maybe on Friday if I make a lot of money. We shall see. But yeah, this just proves it is so easy to make money from Deadman. And if you want to get on it in the seasonals, there's nothing stopping you from doing Agility Pyramid and getting like 10 mil old school an hour. I probably could have made so much more of it even if I just didn't do crafting and did a couple of other things. But crafting's been fun. It's been varied. It's not been grinding the same thing over and over. So I'm happy about that one. Anyway, see you in the next video.